How do we know what our gifts are from Creator? First, I just want to say it has taken me so many times and so many tries to record this episode. Bear with me, guys. I mean, it's heavy, it's a lot. Things I have learned along the way, things I've seen in my chart play out, not only in my chart, but just recently, literally having the messages coming in from Source, from Thoth, some people call him Thoth, Hermes, Mercury, whatever you want to say. The messages have been so blatant, so palpable, and they surround me and my ex and even his chart. And I don't enjoy bringing in other people, bringing in their energy or anything like that, because we have to be careful with that. We have to be careful with identifying, labeling any type of stigma, any type of stickiness or looping or karma, because we can also attach ourselves to that by doing anything like that. And I want to respect the other person. But some of the things that I started understanding that we were here to do as catalysts for each other on our journey was just so beautiful that I felt like I had to talk about it in a way that's really going to help people understand this is literally written in the stars. This is written in our charts. And for the people that don't understand astrology, I'm going to help you a little bit today because I am not an astrologist. I have just noticed these reoccurring themes as I started awakening, as I really started diving into higher consciousness on my journey and understanding that there were things that I definitely had to leave behind and let go of for the gifts to be able to come in the proper way and allowing and receiving. Because that's the thing, if we don't let go of the things that no longer serve, then we're not going to have room to get the blessings. Why would they give the gifts to someone who still has limiting beliefs? Because we're not going to be able to use the gifts. If our gift is communication, that's one of mine, then I'm not going to be able to use it in a proper way if I'm still spitting venom. Do you understand that? If my voice is supposed to be healing, a healing frequency, then I can't do that if I'm yelling at people. In the mirror of the other person on the other side of me, can't do that either. And so this is something that we need to learn in union and partnership, because we have these gifts also that are here to help activate, here to help heal each other. But are we allowing those to help heal each other, or will they trigger each other? So first I want to say also that for years I've been reading my chart wrong, because everything online that was a free site gave me my wrong chart. We need to know not only the planets, but what houses they're in and the correct houses. So I'm going to say go to Time Passages. It's an app. It's a free app for just the purposes that we need it in right now. And this is the only one that ever put my houses and the planets in the correct positioning. And I'm also going to tell you a way that the wheel is supposed to move that will help you confirm this if you have doubts. My ascendant, my rising sign, is Libra. What's really cool about this rising sign is it's going to help you understand what your ruling planet is. For me, it's the home planet. So when you understand that your rising sign is in your first house, you go on Google and you just say, what is the ruling planet of my rising sign, which mine is Libra and mine is Venus. So I've learned my whole entire life, if I stay in those qualities of Venus, which is beauty, love, compassion, dance, music, even money, then I am my happiest. And when I say money, that can come in all forms, abundance, but I enjoy luxury. I've been like that since I was a little kid, and I don't apologize for that. My mom literally was always like, you will walk up to the most expensive thing in the store, not knowing that you are, and pick it out. And I'm like, I know, right? What is that? Because I did not come from an expensive family. That's just the way I was, and I never changed. So I knew that I needed to provide a lifestyle for myself where I could give myself those things. And once again, I do not apologize for that. I like those things. I like to be clean. I like to feel good. I like the way nice fabric feels on my body. Some people don't. That's not their thing. They don't have to have that, and that's okay. So when you understand that the way your wheel is going to start moving, there's 12 houses. So mine will be Libra in the first house. Look down the chart of how the signs come. After Libra, you're going to have Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, blah, 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 blah. And just go down the chart. So, of course, my second house will be Scorpio, third, Sag, fourth, Cap. And just make a circle and then do all the little pies in the circle. So you get 12. So start putting the signs of the houses on the outside or however you wish to do it. That makes it easier for you to see, for you to look at. So then you want to find out where your planets lie in those houses, because it's like you have that structure, but now you need to figure out how is it moving within the structure? What's the personality? How is the house decorated? How does it move, shift? And each house has a signature, a frequency of movement within. So I'm going to tell you the signs that help me, or the planets that help me understand better of my gifts and what I was to move into. The first that I want to look at is Chiron. Chiron is a wounded healer. And I hate even saying that word because I feel like a lot of people get stuck in that woundedness. Kind of like when people say sinner, get out of that. It's just a mindset. We can be the phoenix. We can rise out of anything. We can heal ourselves, but we just need to understand what those core wounds are to be able to shift out of that and to rise above. And I feel like once we really understand it, then we're not in denial anymore and we can be aware of it. So for instance, my Chiron is in Taurus. It's in the 8th house. It can mean sexual or emotional wounding early on in life, buried emotions, having issues being close to other relationships. So this can look like abandonment wounds. It can also be holding on too tight to material possessions or to people because you have an issue getting close to people. So when you finally do, you don't want to let go. It can be very hard to let go. But if you don't learn to, if you don't surrender into that flow, the universe is absolutely going to do it for you. And not in a malicious way, but in a way to help you. Because like I said before, we can't have the gifts pouring in until we let go of the control, until we let go of that holding on, the attachment to what we think life is supposed to look like, what the gifts are even supposed to look like. That was a big one for me. My whole life, I didn't understand what are my gifts. And even when I was starting to understand what they were, they have changed drastically, but in the most beautiful ways. Another one is our North Node and South Node. So the South Node is what we come into this lifetime with from the past life. So it's what we're moving out of. The North Node is what we're moving into. It's the guiding light, the North Star per se. So for me, mine is in Gemini and it's in the 9th house. It's around higher consciousness and understanding all cultures, bridging with love, compassion. Communication is big, higher wisdom and knowledge. This is big into moving into forgiveness because you really have to understand everyone and all, and even yourself, know thyself to be able to start moving into forgiveness and opening your heart. Once I started putting this all together and seeing it, I was already moving and shifting into these feelings. And then when I saw it on paper, I was like, whoa, that's huge. And I knew what I had to do even more, even further. Also, a big thing for me, in the beginning of my awakening, I was shown that I need to heal my voice, my throat, my communication. I don't have a thyroid. They took it out years ago because of being silenced my whole entire life. I didn't understand what that was. I didn't understand what it does to your body. I had to be the good little girl and be quiet and do as told. Make good grades, go to church, all of that. And then when I got married or in abusive relationships or whatever, you have to be careful what you say because you will get silenced really quick. So you learn to numb, and it causes a lot of anger within you, which will come out in your body. So your body will whisper before it screams. You really have to listen to it. So by the time I needed to work on my body, it was already too late. And so I lost a very important organ, but that's okay because I was still able to work on that energy in that area. And Tho showed me how. He is Mercury. He is communication. I started understanding that communication comes in all different forms, and I am telepathic. I've been telepathic my whole entire life, and I've been able to work with energy, and that's a big part of communication. A lot of people don't understand that we can hear, we can feel, we can see in different ways as long as it's coming from the heart, grounding from the heart. But are you receiving it as the transmitter, as the receiver? Are you attuning to it? That's the difference. So another one to look at is the 10th house, the midheaven. Mine is in Cancer. This is going to be the ego identity, the ego debt, karma. For me, this was twin flame catalyst, karmic partner. He was actually a Cancer. Now I'm going to say, before I knew my chart correctly, I wasn't able to even know his chart correctly. So when I started looking at my pie chart and putting everything in the correct houses, I said, what the hell? Let me just do his too. So I did. And we always joked about how we seem to have been on the same life path. And a lot of the same things had happened in our lives. And I can't tell you how close our chart is and how we mirror each other, which I had already caught on to the mirror part. You know, a lot of people aren't understanding the twin flame journey. It doesn't mean that you have to stay together. If you're hurting each other, are you going to trigger each other? Of course, you're mirrors for each other. But if it gets to the point where you are causing so much pain and bringing up so much karma, then get out, because it will not change unless that person wants it to change, and you can't change them. So I say this with Cancer because Cancer is security, home, protection, provision, safety. This goes back to my Chiron, that wound in that. So I'm going to be triggered like crazy around that. This can mean immense healing if I'm with someone who is willing to do that. And it's not just me. My home planet is Venus. His home planet is Mercury. Going back to communication, I had a message come in from Tho, I don't know, last week. He said, you two were here to help heal each other. You're from the planet of love. Love, communication, speaking with love, feeling love. He needed more love in his form of communication. You needed to learn to communicate in different ways. And that's what he was here to teach you, because he never seemed to understand what I was saying. And I always joked about, well, it wasn't really funny. I always said the man is the only person in my life that doesn't seem to understand me when I talk. It's like I'm speaking a foreign language and I don't get it. His midheaven is Gemini. The ruler of Gemini is Mercury. You're going to have the same reflection of the North Node that I have, higher consciousness, learning compassion and forgiveness and being the bridge. To be the bridge, you have to move into the heart. The heart is literally the bridge. If you look at the signs of Mercury and Venus, they look like mirrors. I did a little bit more researching just because. And I didn't realize that in Greek mythology, Mercury and Venus had a child named Cupid, and this was their love child. And Cupid goes around spreading love, shooting people in the ass with arrows. It's so funny too, because my mom was obsessed with these little Cupid cherub angels growing up. They were everywhere in my house. Me and my dad used to be like, ugh, these angels. I hated them because they freaked me out. These little baby angels. As a kid, it's like having baby dolls around the house or something. I don't know. But she spent a lot of money on these paintings and things. So I think it's hilarious. No, I'm like, of course it's Cupid. Why wouldn't it be? So how are we going to use these gifts? For me, I can say the happiest I've ever been, especially after being aware, awake, acknowledging, and not being in denial, being conscious, knowing when I stay in beauty and love and happiness, music and dance, sensuality, all of those things. I am my happiest. And when I stay in pleasure, that is when I can stay in an open heart. That is when I can bring peace and be the bridge. Just by being my authentic self. That's something I had to learn. What is truth in communication? It is love. And a lot of people get confused with this. I am also an Aries. I have a Mercury in Aries. So my truth can also come with sacred fire because it comes from the mother herself. It comes from the divine and it comes from spirit. I am not here to be a good little girl. I am here to awaken that passion and pleasure in others, to burn all that no longer belongs in others, to trigger in beautiful ways if they allow it. I've always been thought-provoking. I always love deep conversations. I don't like basic. I am not going to be the person that can sit here and just be surface level with you and fake. That's not how I'm built. If you want to look at my chart, you can. It's gross to me. But some people can't handle the truth because that means that they would have to face themselves, even when it's given in love, even when it's given straight from the divine with pure intention and a pure heart, here to help, here to see the absolute best in others. But that's inner work that they have to do. Me, on the other hand, I love being triggered. I love going within. I love hearing a different point of view. If I'm not seeing something, let me see it. Give me different eyes, ears, a different heart. I am not here to be mediocre. I am here to change the world. It doesn't have to be on a stage. It can be in a small town. It doesn't matter. I have felt this since I was a little child. And we cannot change. We cannot make a difference sitting in silence. We will never make a difference if we do not purge the vessel of the lower emotional realm and move into higher consciousness. All of our gifts are unique. They're authentic to our own blueprint, our own frequency, and our own signatures. Your voice, your dance, your song, your whatever, your passion can help awaken someone else just by being you. So don't not be you. Feel free to express yourself. I love you guys. Have a good day.